Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am actually so excited to be here for this video because I'm using all of the products that I received in my November Boxycharm. So I used the eyeshadow palette that came in the box today. I also used the bronzing palette that I got in the box. I'm using the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick and the Cover FX drops that were all in the same box. So I also got two other products that I didn't use in this video because they're skincare products. So it would be this sheet mask. These are sheet masks for your skin, and also I got the Juice Beauty eye treatment. So I didn't use these on camera just because they are skincare and I didn't do skincare in this video. I really hope that you enjoy this video. I really had so much fun creating this look, and actually this palette was so fun to work with. Just these bright colors that come in here are they're just really nice shades. I was truly really happy about this palette and the way that everything turned out. So if you would like to see how I achieved this look, just go ahead and keep on watching. So the very first thing that I did was apply some of this Truth Serum. This is a really moisturizing serum that I like to use when I have bare skin. This really helps with my dry skin and it helps with my foundation looking so much smoother. This is the Truth Serum by Ola Henriksen. I always want to say Ole Henriksen because that's the way that it's spelled, but it's not Ole Henriksen, it's Ola. So after I apply my moisturizer or my serum, I'm going to take a little bit of Max Fix Plus. This is a very refreshing skin mist. It just feels so good. This is the coconut one and it smells amazing. I always say that I have such dry skin because I do. It doesn't matter what kind of moisturizers, how much water I drink, what I use on my skin, it's always dry. Like, that's just the skin that I have. So I went ahead and did my eyebrows really quickly off camera. So I used my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in medium brown. I also have dark brown and soft brown, but usually on a day-to-day basis, I like to use medium brown. So I'm going to be using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer just to carve out my brows, make them look a little bit sharper, a little bit neater and cleaner. And this is also going to act as an eyeshadow base for my eyeshadows. So I'm taking it on a super thin brush. This is a MAC 195, I believe, wait, 195 or 185. The letters are super smudged off because I've had this for so long, but these brushes last a really long time. It's just a flat brush. Any flat brush like this will do the job. So I'm just taking my concealer, getting some on my brush, onto the tip of my brush, and I'm just going to start, I like to start in the lower part of my brow, and then I'll go ahead and do the top, and then whatever excess is left, I just like to drag it down and put it onto my eyelid. I make sure to get a concealer that's a lot lighter than my skin tone. I try to get the lightest ones that they have just because I find that the lighter you go, the more brightening that they're going to look, and also it also works better if you're using it to make your eyeshadows pop. You know, like if you want your eyeshadows to really pop, you do need to use something bright just so that they can contrast around. You do want to use something bright, just so that your eyeshadows can pop against it. Just so that you can give something. So I do like to use a concealer that's a lot brighter than my skin tone, just so that it gives me that brightness, and you can really tell where the concealer is, but it's not so light that it's not going to look natural. So as you can see, this eyebrow compared to this one just looks so much sharper, so much cleaner and sleeker. I love how this looks. I don't do this anymore on a daily basis. Sometimes for work, oh yeah, I started working, that's why I've been kind of MIA. Sometimes I don't even use a pomade anymore. Like, I'll use a pencil. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? I haven't used an eyebrow pencil in years, but I started using one just because they're so quick. I love how this looks. I just don't do it as often anymore, but I promise I'm gonna start. eyebrow thicker than the other one. This is the thicker one, this one on this side, and dude, I've tried so many things like to pluck it differently, but it just never works out. So this one has always been nice and beautiful and thin, and I love the shape of this one, but this one's always been so troublesome. I've never gotten it to look the same, and I've even gone to people to get them waxed, and it just never comes out how I want it to come out. I don't know, I feel like we all have a good brow and a bad brow, or is that just me? I don't know, I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like that happens to everyone, and nobody really has identical eyebrows. It's so hard to get them identical. You don't have to blend these edges so much just because you're going to add foundation, powder, bronzer, all your whole thing. The contrasting colors are not going to be noticeable at all. So the products that I got in the November Boxycharm, I am including them in this video just because I want to try them out and see how they work. The only thing that I'm not using in the video is the skincare product. Boxycharm usually sends you a skincare product as well, but I'm not going to use that just because I already did my skincare. I already added my foundation and my Fix Plus, so I'm not doing the skincare that came with it. But as far as everything else, I am going to use it in here, and I'll let you know what it is. The first thing that came in was the Celestial Thunder eyeshadow palette. This is from Dominique Cosmetics. As you know, she's this beautiful influencer who ventured off and made her own cosmetic line. I don't know what else she has other than her eyeshadows. Honestly, I don't keep up with her that much, so I don't know, but I do see her stuff all over Instagram. This is what the palette looks like. It's so beautiful, actually. So this doesn't have a soft brown in here. You know, like usually a lot of people like to use soft browns, even like a highlighting shade. This one is nice, but to me, as a highlighting shade, it wouldn't work just because it's too champagne tone, it's too dark to use as a highlighting shade. So just because it doesn't have a really frosty highlighting shade that I like, I'm using the Jawbreaker palette. I'm using the Jawbreaker palette from Jeffree Star just to use this one right here. This is the shade Virgin. It's just this pale white. So I'm just popping this under my brow, and I'm going to put it into my tear duct as well. So from this palette, the first eyeshadow that I'm going to use is Mystic Ice. Like, let's just go for it. I was thinking of doing one of these more wearable ones, and I'm like, nah, I'll probably never use this blue, but girl, let's use the blue. So I'm going to use Mystic Ice. I've never used her eyeshadows before. I don't know how pigmented they are or how blendable they are, but I'm just gonna go straight in with this one. Ooh, so pretty. Wow, this is so beautiful. I love this color. I love it, like if I've used it so many times. I actually really like it. Let me see, hold on. It actually blends out so nice. Like honestly, I thought it was gonna be like stuck to my concealer, but it's not. Also, this brush is by Sonia Kashuk. You can get these at Target. They're so good. They're very affordable. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if I should do like a cat eye. Should I do a cat eye like extended outwards, or should I just do like something round? I think I'm gonna stick to a round eye just for this video. So I'm just gonna bring it down. I'm not gonna extend it out into a cat eye. I might add liner. Maybe I'll add liner and do like a cat eye with my liner. But as far as my eyeshadows, I'm just sticking to a round shape. I'm gonna add a little bit more onto my brush, and I'm just going a little bit more extended so that it can be a little higher up. I do want to go over the edges multiple times just so that I can get them nice and fuzzed out. You don't want them too harsh. I find that a lot of times I do leave them harsh sometimes, like on accident, just because I don't want to buff the edges so much, because I feel like whenever I buff and buff and buff the edges, I start to extend it so much more than that was planned. So my eyeshadow will I'll try to make my eyeshadow just like a little bit extended, like a little bit blown out. And then by the end of my look, it's like all the way over here. So I'm just like, no, would I do that? So I hate thinking that, okay, let me just blend a little more, let me just blend a little more. And then all of a sudden my eyeshadow is like up to here. So now that I have my other eye done, you can see that it is more of a rounded shape. I didn't do much of a cat eye today. The next eyeshadow that I'm going to be using is this one up in the very corner. It's the darkest shade. It's a matte dark brown. I don't know honestly if this is dark brown or like, I know it's definitely not black. It's not gray, but it's pretty dark and it's matte. So let's use it. By the way, the shade is called Zero Gravity. I really like her theme. It's like a space theme, but they have really nice names. So I'm going to start deepening up this eyeshadow. So taking this on a small blending brush, I'm going to pack it into my crease. I'm not going to buff this nearly as much as the blue one is. So I really don't want to blend this one out too much. I just want to add darkness into my crease area to give me some depth. So as you can see, it's already giving me some darkness. I feel like this look definitely needs that, just because if you wear just like a straight up blue eyeshadow, it's not so wearable. You might not feel comfortable with it throughout the day, but definitely darkening up the look with any kind of gray, brown, black, whatever, even a navy blue will look really nice. It definitely makes it so much more wearable wearing something like this as opposed to this. This palette I'm noticing has a lot of kickback, so I'm just like tapping my brush in there slightly and like the entire pan is just crumbling up. That's okay. I mean, it's not the deal breaker if I'm gonna buy a palette or not, but you're gonna notice that you waste your eyeshadows a lot quicker. These eyeshadows do blend really nicely together actually, and even into the Jeffree Star eyeshadow that I put on my brow bone, this blue just blended right in there, so that's a really good thing. Now that I have those two shades done, I'm going to be taking Eternal Light, which is this one right here in the corner. This is a Sigma eye shading brush. It's an E55 from Sigma, so it's just a nice dome brush. It's pretty flat as well, so anything like this. I do like my eyeshadows really intense, so I'm taking my Fix Plus one more time and I'm wetting my brush. This is gonna make the eyeshadows so much more intense and so much more metallic, which is what I like. If you want more of a natural look, you definitely don't have to wet your brush, but I like to just dig in there and start to apply it, and you're gonna notice a big difference. Eyeshadow definitely looks so much more beautiful and so much more powerful when I wet it with Fix Plus. I tried to use it dry, but it just wasn't doing it for me. I love my glitters to stand out, so the Fix Plus definitely bumps it up to the next level. Now that I have my eyeshadow on my lids for the most part complete, that's all I want to do for them. I'm just taking a makeup wipe. Honestly, these are like some cheap ones that I found at Walmart. They're like 99 cents. I get those because I don't use them really for my face. To remove my makeup at the end of the day, I use makeup remover for that. But I like these for little things like this, like to clean my hands or to clean up under my eyes, just to remove any eyeshadow that fell out for some reason. So these are really good for that. I don't want to spend too much money on something that, you know, I like to use these also like to clean my mirrors and stuff. But I'm also using my fingernail to go up like this in a straight line, and this gives me a sharper edge. I'm going to start working on my face. I like to do my concealer and my foundation before I do under eye shadow. Just because if I do eyeshadow before I do my concealer, I'm going to go in with concealer and just end up covering it all or messing it up and just not going to look cute. This is a Real Techniques contour brush. I like this because it's like it's nice and thin, but it's also dense enough to buff out the concealer. I sometimes use this for foundation also. I have my concealer on. I used Tarte Shape Tape. I am in the shade Fair Beige. I love this concealer. I noticed that it gives me such good coverage. It brightens up so well and it doesn't crease under my eyes. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. I've been liking this foundation. I use it really often. I'm in the shade 220N, and I'm actually going to be using the same brush that I was just talking about from Real Techniques. This is a really good brush for foundation. I feel like Real Techniques brushes are so good. They get the job done, they're really affordable, and they are actually really cute. Like, they always have different collections, so they come out with different colors and stuff. This is why I said earlier that it doesn't matter where your concealer ends whenever you're carving out your eyebrows, because you're just gonna go right in here with the foundation brush and buff everything out, so it's not even gonna show. I'm going in with a little bit of MAC Studio Fix powder. This is one of MAC's top selling products. I've been using this for years. I first bought this sometime in middle school, honestly, and ever since then I've been using it on and off. I'm in the shade NC20. I just want everything to be set and mattified, so this gives you such a smooth finish. I love this powder so much. So you can even use it on its own just over a moisturizer, and it's going to give your skin so much evenness, such a smooth finish, and it really does even out any of the uneven skin tones. It covers up redness. It's just such good coverage in this powder. I also got this in my November Boxycharm. This is the Park Avenue Princess Contour Palette. This is what it looks like. This is actually a really heavy palette. Like, it has some weight to it. This thing is heavy. It's like a really hard plastic. The thickness of the packaging is actually really luxurious and fancy feeling. I'm going to be going in with Princess Cut, which is the fourth one down. With that bronzer, I just start doing super tiny motions super quickly. I like to do this really fast. I feel like the faster you go, the more blended it looks. So I'm just going right up into my hairline, and then I'm going to start going into my temples. This just gives your face some warmth and a little bit more dimension. If you don't add a little bit of bronzer to the forehead or the temples, you could look a little bit flat in this area. So to finish up my eyes, I decided to go back into the palette and use, which one do you think I'm going to use? Probably one of these, right? But no, I'm going to use the bright one. I want to keep it a little bit different. I'm always kind of trying to keep it safe, do things that I feel like you guys would wear out. I'm just going to take a little bit of this Lucid Dreams and pop it right under my lower lashes. Sorry, I was going to bend down, but I don't think you all will be able to see what I'm doing. To play it safe on the lips, which is what I am going to do today because that's just what came in the Boxycharm. So I'm going to be adding Nude Mood from Dose of Colors. I've actually never used their liquid lipsticks. I've seen them all over, but I've never owned one. I just have never gotten onto their site and purchased any for some reason. I don't know why. But since it did come in the Boxycharm, that's what I'm going to use today. I'm just going to apply it right now before I finish up my eyes. I like to just use this to shape my lips as well. I always kind of overline them a little bit, especially with a liquid lipstick. I feel like they're so easy to use. Personally, I find these so much easier to use than a regular cream lipstick. That's what the lip color looks like. It's still pretty. It's actually a deeper nude than I thought it was going to be. So to finish up my eyes, I'm using the Anastasia liquid liner. To finish off the look, I'm just adding a little bit of a pencil liner and some lashes. These lashes were actually sent to me from Dodo Lashes. I always use this Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive in black. I don't know if you all have seen this one. I find it at Walmart or at Target. It has the little aloe plant here with the black case. So now I just scrub it with my tweezers. Since I have really long nails, I find it so easy to use a pair of tweezers to pop on my eyelash. So I like to just tilt my head backwards so I'm looking down and I'm kind of exposing my lashes. If I'm looking straight like this, my brow bone tends to cover my lash line and it just makes it so much difficult, so I tilt my head back and pop them on. Mascara. This is the Rocket Mascara from Maybelline. I've been using this one for years. I don't want to put any on my top lashes, but I am going to be using this on my lower lashes. I've never used Cover FX drops before. The drops that I have used are from Makeup Revolution, which are extremely similar. They're complete dupes as far as the packaging with the little dropper. Makeup Revolution are like $9. These are $44. So these did come in the Boxycharm for November, which I'm so excited about. I'm just taking this Smashbox fan brush. I'm going to start gently kind of buffing it out to see what happens. Hey, this actually looks really nice. A lot of times people don't like to use cream products on top of powder just because it can sometimes break up the powder or make it look cakey and nasty. But this actually looks really pretty. So I actually feel like I can use a little bit more. So I'm just going to put some on there. Whoa, did I put too much? Yes. I think I put too much. So I'm just going to use whatever is excess on the opposite side. I really like to add it from like the center of my eye down up to the tip of my brow. So just you're going to see like this shape right here is where I'll apply my head. I'm even going to put a little bit on the tip of my nose and just some down the bridge of my nose. Why not? We're already here. So tip, bridge. Can't you see how that just gives me so much more glow? It looks so pretty. I love how this looks. I didn't even tell you the name, right? These are the Cover FX glitter drops in the shade Nova. I'm going to try to even put a little bit of this in the inner corner of my eyes. Just since I don't have anything there, I'm going to put a little bit right here and buff it out with a brush. So thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this video. I really like how this turned out. I'm so excited that I did subscribe to Boxycharm. A lot of people are kind of discussing the price range that it's increasing, but Boxycharm did release a statement that their prices did go up a few dollars, but the value of the box and the content of what's inside is also going to increase by at least $50. So that's a $50 increase in products that you're going to be receiving for like $2 or $3 difference. So I feel like it's so worth it. And I want to take this time to thank everyone that entered my Instagram giveaway. Thank you so much. The winner has been contacted and she did respond to me. So I will be shipping out her package to her. I will have so many more giveaways going on in the future. So thanks again so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already and click the bell on the right hand side of the screen so that way you get notified of all of my future uploads and that you're the first ones to see them.